Have you ever looked at really successful people and wondered why so many of them have coaches? I mean, they're already at the top of their game, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Why would someone who's already smart, driven, and successful need a coach? So let's get personal for a second. Think about your own life. On paper, maybe everything looks great. You're hitting your goals, you're smart, you've got drive, but there's still that feeling, isn't there? That quiet, nagging sense that you're kind of stalled, like you're just running in place. If any of that sounds familiar, you're going to want to hear this next part. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. The problem isn't a lack of talent or intelligence or ambition, not at all. The reason we get stalled is a problem of perspective. We're too close. It's like trying to read the label from inside the bottle. You just can't see the whole picture. Okay, so let's break that down. What does this loop of being stuck actually look and feel like in the real world? There are a few key signs. First off, you start noticing the same patterns popping up again and again. It could be the same type of conflict you keep having at work, or ending up on the same kind of draining project. Or maybe it's a personal dynamic you just can't seem to shake. You're definitely making choices, but somehow they all lead back to the same darn place. And then, the big decisions, they start to feel impossible, right? Choosing a new path, making a career move, a big personal change, it all just feels overwhelming. You're so lost in the weeds of the day-to-day that you can't get that bird's-eye view you need to make a really confident call. And all of this, it takes a toll. It really does. All that spinning your wheels and delaying decisions isn't just frustrating, it is absolutely exhausting. It's kind of like having a slow leak in a tire. Your most valuable resource, your energy, the fuel for your growth, is just constantly seeping out, leaving you feeling totally drained. So if the problem is being too close to see things clearly, then the solution has to be about getting some distance, right? It's about bringing in an outside perspective. And this is where we get to the idea of a coach as basically a professional pattern interrupter. So here it is, the core job description. A coach isn't there to give you all the answers. Their number one job is to interrupt that self-repeating loop you're stuck in. And they do that by being an external viewpoint, by holding you accountable to the goals you set, and by being 100% committed to your growth. Now, this is a really important point because let's be honest, the word coach gets thrown around a lot. It gets lumped in with a bunch of other things. So let's get super clear about what it is and what it isn't. Think of it this way. Therapy is often about understanding and healing the past, which is incredibly valuable. A consultant is an expert you bring in to give you specific technical answers. But coaching is different. It's a forward-looking partnership. It's all about building the future you want to create and helping you take action to get there. And this might be the most powerful distinction of all. A good coach operates from one core belief. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You are already whole, creative, and totally capable. So if it's not about fixing you, then what's the point? Well, it's about helping you listen better, to listen to those signals that you're probably already getting, to tune into your own values, your gut feelings, that quiet inner voice that actually knows what you want and where you're trying to go. Okay, so you start to get better at listening to yourself. You get these new insights, that's great, but how does that turn into actual real-world change? That brings us to the process itself. The path forward here is, well, it's pretty simple, but simple doesn't always mean easy. It all starts with just slowing down, intentionally creating some space away from all the noise. And it's in that quiet space that you can finally tell the truth to yourself, to your coach, about what's really going on. That honesty, it leads directly to clarity. And once you have clarity, you can finally take what we call aligned action. So what is aligned action? It's the total opposite of just gritting your teeth and pushing through something you hate. This isn't about hype or manufacturing some fake motivation. It's momentum that feels natural because it comes from a deep place of knowing who you are and where you want to go. You know, it's the difference between forcing yourself to go to some awful networking event because you think you should versus grabbing a coffee with one person whose work you find genuinely fascinating. One is a chore, the other is real, powerful momentum. And this leads us to the final, really beautiful piece of this whole puzzle, the nature of the coach-client relationship and what this is all building toward. I mean, this just says it all, doesn't it? In a world that is just screaming at us with advice and information and shoulds, the very last thing any of us needs is more noise. What we need is something that reflects our own truth back to us, a trusted mirror, and someone to walk alongside us as we figure it all out, a steady guide. So, what does this trusted mirror actually show you? It simply reflects back the truth that you shared when you slowed down and got honest. It helps you see with total clarity what's genuinely working in your life, what is absolutely not working, and, maybe most important of all, what you've been actively avoiding looking at. And that brings us right here to the final thought I want to leave you with. Whether it's a professional coach, a mentor, a boss, or just a really good friend, the principle is exactly the same. To get unstuck, we all need perspective. So the question is, who in your life reflects your own truth back to you, clearly and without judgment? Who is your trusted mirror?